taking time out of your busy schedule to get on the call tonight. We're so excited about what we have here. We want to share this with you. So please get pen and paper and take some copious notes. We're going to give you some good information to write down. Uh, I'm so excited about this program because I'm one of those guys that has played sports all my life, running and marathons and bodybuilding and so on. And for the last 20 years, I've had nothing but pain in my shoulders and knees. In 1986, I had arthroscopic surgery in my left shoulder. 1998, I had a total reconstructive built in my left shoulder. And in 2014, I had a total reconstruction in the right shoulder. So I've had nothing but pain for 20 years in my shoulders. Pains 15 years in my knees. I've had two surgeries on those. And uh, March 31 of 2023, I had arthroscopic surgery. Actually, I had lumbar surgery in my back. So I'm sitting right now with 4 bars and 8 screws in my back. And that surgery really damaged both sides of my hips, and I was in constant pain every single day. I lived on ibuprofen. In September of 2024, September 15th of 2024, I began to wear this little patch and wondering how is this little patch going to do anything at all. 5 days later, I was walking up the steps with no pain, walking up the steps without pulling on rails, being able to get out of the bed again without bending over, taking 5 and 6 steps just to straighten out. So this has been a lifesaver for me. And not only does it help people with pain, but it does a lot of other things. So what I want you to do is sit back and relax and listen. I'm going to introduce you to a young lady that is just killing this thing. She's helping a lot of people. She's in the top of the company. She and her husband are in the top of the company. So without any farther ado, please help me to welcome Davita Monk. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, Fred, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Thank you so much for taking the effort to spread the word with all of your friends and colleagues, because what we have here really is life changing. Just like Fred said, it is definitely something that's made a difference in my life, in my husband's life, in many other people. Let me introduce myself again. My name is Verdita Monk. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. My husband and I are really, really excited about helping people and spreading the word about this tiny little bitty tiny patch you're going to hear about. It's about the size of a quarter, thin like a Band-Aid, and it operates like a Band-Aid. But let me tell you how we got here. A friend of ours reached out to us and told us about this patch and said, you really need to try this patch. And we were literally about to go to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is where my husband is from. And when we got there, my 92-year-old mother-in-law would look like she was about to cry. She was in so much pain, and I'd never seen her out of all these years. I never saw her in any pain. She's a very healthy person. But what was going on was she had pain in her knee, and because of her age, the doctor did not want to do surgery. She didn't want to do surgery. He'd given her pain medication that did not seem to work. And therefore, we had got on a call just like this. We heard some tremendous testimonies, and we looked at each other and said, why don't we try this patch on her and see if it'll help? So we put this patch on my mother-in-law, and she went to bed. And the next morning, she woke up and said all the pain had gone, and she did not get up all night like she normally does because she was rubbing this knee like something crazy. Well, that got our attention. Now, the reason we put the patch on her, we didn't even try the patch at first because we thought because we were healthy that it didn't apply to us. We thought this patch was just for people that were sick or in pain. And that's what we really thought. And many people think the same. But we decided, we were curious and said, let's see what the patch does for us. Well, that night we put the patch on, and the next morning I noticed that I had slept all night, The reason this was so significant is because my husband used to have a chronic snoring disorder. He also had acid reflux. So between the snoring, he sounded like a bear, literally, you guys. It was very hard to sleep in the same room with him. So between the snoring and the choking and the coughing all night, I mean, it was terrible. And this went on for about 10 years. So when I woke up the next morning and had slept all night without any noise, I thought, what is going on? I didn't even attribute it to the patch, but it happened again. We did it the next night, put the patch on, and once again, he did not snore. And so we said, wow, that's the patch doing this. There's no other explanation. That's been 2 years, you guys. And we decided that, I mean, my husband has not snored since then, and we decided at that time that there was many people just like us that needed to know about this patch, and we just took off running, just sharing it with everybody we know. That's why Fred says we're at we're at the very top position of our company because we've helped a lot of people. That was our whole purpose for doing this, is to help a lot of people, and we hope we can help you tonight as well. Okay. So just listen very carefully. I'm going to go over some information that may surprise you. So once again, we're talking about stem cell technology. Now, I don't know what you already know about stem cell technology, but let me tell you what most people know. Stem cell technology, most people relate that to stem cell injections. And stem cell injections are what doctors offer their patients, or they don't really normally administer that injection themselves, but they'll refer a patient to someone who can give them a stem cell injection. Why? Because that doctor has exhausted everything he knows to do to help that person out of whatever chronic situation they're in. And so here are some things to be concerned about when it comes to stem cell injections. First of all, you're getting an injection from an embryo or an umbilical cord. So that's one thing. Secondly, that injection is localized. This is what we mean. If you have a pain in your knee, but and you put the injection, they put the injection in your knee, it's not going to help you with your heart. Let's say you got a heart condition and something wrong with your knee. That injection is only going to help you with the knee, but not the heart. That's what we mean by localized. We also know that it's very, very expensive. It could range from $5,000 an injection up to $25,000 or more per injection. That's not really cost effective and affordable by the average person. It's something many times you have to go out of the country. I know people that literally have gone out of state or out of the country to get a stem cell injection. It's not just available everywhere. And so for all of those reasons, people are hesitant to do stem cell injections. And this is why we want to offer you a different solution. We want to introduce you to this stem cell reactivation patch. Now, once you wear this patch, you can literally put it anywhere on your body. These ladies are showing it on their arms. And once you've been patched, the copper peptides in your body are going to be elevated. And when that happens, scientists have proven that if those copper peptides in your body are elevated, they're going to reactivate the dormant stem cells and your whole body is going to be regenerated. So I'm explaining as we go along how that's going to happen with this patch. But I want to give you a little bit of credibility about the company that provides this patch. See, the company that provides this patch is a company called LifeWave. It's been around for 20 years. Most people have never heard of it because it all started with doctors. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that story in a moment. But so we didn't really know about it, but doctors knew about it. Some doctors knew about it, not every doctor, but many doctors knew about it. And it started spreading, you guys. Now our company's in over 75 countries. That's how effective this patch is and how many people love it. The company was doing about 20 million a year for the first 16 years that it was in existence. And then as soon as this patch came on board, the company jumped to about 320 million in 2022. And the next year, it exceeded 430 million. And then last year, our company generated over $600 million in sales simply because of this patch. Now, how is this kind of growth possible? It's because this is not an ordinary product. You're gonna find this out in a moment. This is not an ordinary product like weight loss. You know, any company can offer weight loss, or you can go to a drugstore or a convenience store or somewhere and get weight loss products. Same thing with skincare and hair care. So this product is not what you call a Me Too product where anybody else can market this. This is very unique. But I want to introduce you to the scientists behind this so you can understand how this all came about. The scientist, David Schmidt, is literally a walking genius. This man is the CEO and the inventor of this patch, and he has over 180 patents. How did he get started? I told you the company is now 20 years old. He started out by being hired by the federal government to create something for the Navy SEALs on a project they were about to embark on, where they're going to be underwater for over 36 hours at a time, and it needed to be energized, and they weren't going to be able to eat or anything. That's the project he was hired to come up with a solution for. And he created his first patch called the Energy Enhancer patch. That's now what happened after that. It was so successful that it started spreading from doctor to doctor to doctor. Next thing you know, it reached prestigious universities like Stanford. And let me tell you what happened at Stanford. The women's Olympics swim team were able to wear this patch when they were competing in the Olympics. And you all know that whenever an athlete is doing anything that's performance enhancing, that's against the rules. They will be disqualified, but they were able to do it. And you're gonna, once again, you're gonna find out why they were able to use these patches during the Olympics. So I hope I got your attention about how this all started. But then back in 2008, now first of all, he developed many other patches, okay? But his whole thing was, he started focusing in 2008 on stem cell research. That was the biggest thing going on. This was the answer to all these ailments that people had, stem cell research, okay? And so doctors had been spending billions of dollars trying to come up with a solution and trying to find a way to reactivate the dormant stem cells in our body, okay? But they could not do it. But David Schmidt, remember I told you he is a genius. He was diligent and persistent. Took him 10 years and $4.5 million to bring this to market. But this is what he brought to market, this technology. This patch right here is a technology, and it's the combination of all the other work he'd ever done. Everything he'd ever done before, this is his masterpiece. So just remember that. This is very significant. Here's what they say in the patent. This is a wearable phototherapy apparatus that produces beneficial effects to a human body, such as activation of stem cells, improving of strength, improving of stamina, pain relief via a non-transdermal container. You see, it says it right there in the patent that it's going to reactivate the dormant stem cells, you guys. And this is, once again, this patent is listed on the National Institute of Health. Here is the patent. And we have a website we're going to refer you to as well. So no other company, when something is patented, it means it cannot be duplicated. No other company can market this nor duplicate this product for the next 16 years. Now, I want you to know that we're not saying that our products are intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition, but you are going to get a reboot so that those dormant stem cells in your body are active now. Now, why do I keep saying dormant stem cells, and why do we need this X39? Because, see, by the time we get to be 30, half of our stem cells go dormant. And this is when you start seeing things start happening like high blood pressure, just lack of energy, just things like that. By the time we get 60, almost all of our stem cells are dormant. And this is when you start seeing they're forgetting things, they're getting dementia, they're getting Alzheimer's, they're not able to, their bodies are not able to heal themselves. Because in case you didn't know this, stem cells make up the tissues and organs in our bodies that are, and they're the intended repair, the body's intended repair system. So we should be able to, our body should be able to heal ourselves, but it is not able to do that as we get older. So millions of people are experiencing the effects of aging, you guys. So This is what this is all about. Now, how does this patch work? Now, this is the part that you're wondering, why, if it's, why are those athletes able to wear this when it's because, first of all, it's a proprietary form of phototherapy. The simplest way for me to describe phototherapy is when you go out into the sun, what happens? The vitamin D in your body is elevated. And then, but there's no vitamin D being deposited into your body. The vitamin D is already in your body. What happens? The sun just elevates that vitamin D. That's what this patch does. See, this patch was developed in a FDA registered lab, and it's just made out of salts and sugars. And what they did was they converted those salts and sugars, and these are just crystals, right? Nano crystals, so tiny that you can't even see them. That's how tiny they are. But it's non-transdermal. Nothing is going into your body. Nothing is penetrating into your skin. But how this works is this. See, we're light beings. We've got heat and light in our body. So when you put the patch on anywhere, and let's say you put it on your wrist, the heat and the light of your body is going to reflect off of these crystals. And when that happens, it elevates the copper peptides in your body. Remember what I said, scientists said? It elevates the copper peptides, which in turn reactivate those dormant stem cells. You see, that's the part, this is the miraculous part about this, is because they said nobody could do it. It could never be done. You're going to have to go get an injection. No, you don't. You don't have to get an injection because you got a natural device with nothing inside of it except for some crystals, no drugs, no chemicals, non-invasive. There's nothing to be concerned about. And this is why the doctors and the elite athletes were able to wear the patch, because there was no drugs or chemicals in it. Nothing was in the patch to say, you're wearing a performance enhancing drug. This is your own body being rejuvenated. Now, I want to reiterate again, I want you to make sure we're not saying these products are intended to diagnose, treat, cure, prevent any disease or medical conditions. Normally they say that about a drug. This is not a drug. It is not approved by the FDA because FDA approves drugs. This is not a drug, but we are FDA registered. Our laboratories are FDA registered. Now, there are many, many benefits of this patch. I'm just going to name a few right now. The increased strength. As we get older, we're not as strong. What about inflammation? If you got any type of disease or illness, there's definitely some inflammation in your body. Energy and vitality. All of these things, you guys, are relevant to people who are aging. Increased stamina, mental clarity, restored muscle and skeletal conditions. Do you know that you probably notice as people get older, they start getting a little shorter. They're just not as tall as they used to be. That's because our skeletal condition system is declining. Improvement of sleep. I already told you what happened to me and my husband. We've been having sweet dreams ever since November of 2022, and many other people as well. Improved skin appearance. I can't tell you the kinds of things that are happening to people with regard to their skin. Not only is their skin more supple and youthful looking and soft and all this, but some other things that people are concerned about. And I'm going to show you some visuals of that in a moment. Now, I don't know if I told you, but there's over 80 case studies that were done. When you do case studies, that's so that you can prove that that patent, you can prove this patent, that's what the patent does. It proves that it really happened. So in the case studies, let me tell you what happened. In the first few days, over 4,000 genes begin to reset. That's huge. Do you know, have you ever heard of the analogy about the resveratrol that's in red wine? And resveratrol, they say it will help you live longer because it helps you with your heart. But do you also know that there are only going to be 2 genes reset when you drink that red wine? A whole glass of wine is only going to reset 2 genes. That shows you how significant this is. This patch in just a few days is going to reset 4,000 genes. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. Anybody with PTSD, that's autistic, bipolar, Alzheimer's, any of those are a reflection of someone's brain being unbalanced. I'm going to share something in a moment so you can see what I mean. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. And not only does collagen, help plump up your skin, help your hair grow and nails and all this, but it also holds your joints and your bones together. It's just like if you were looking at a brick house, the mortar that holds the house together is equivalent to your collagen in your body. So collagen is very important, but as we get older, it's depleted. Within 6 months, the heart reverses in age. They say that every 6 months that we wear this patch, our heart reverses by 8 years. But not only our heart, our liver, our kidney, everything is getting reversed. This is not anti-aging according to David Schmidt. This is age reversing. I'm going to share a testimony with you in a moment of someone whose heart is demonstrative of someone's heart that actually is reversing. Now, this diagram is called a topography map, and it reflects a lady who was 77 years old. She placed the X39 on the back of her neck. That's one of the points, they recommend. And in session 1, when they looked at her brain, it was inflamed. The red area reflects inflammation in her brain, and she had lack of brain coherence. Remember, I talked about people that would maybe Alzheimer's, dementia, something like that. Those are examples of lack of brain coherence. In her case, her brain was hyperactive. In the second session, 3 weeks later, there was no more inflammation. You can see that the left and right side of her brain are working more coherently together. And in session 3, there's a complete turnaround, you guys. Better brain coherence. So this is just after 6 weeks, just as the case study said. Now, how are you going to wear this patch? You could really put it anywhere in your body, but in the case studies, they put it below the belly button or behind the neck, just so that they could be consistent, group A, group B. But you can really put it anywhere because it's systemic. It sends a signal to the brain and says, you know what? This body needs some more the stem cells in the heart area to be reactivated. This body needs some stem cells to go to in that knee area to be reactivated. It's very intelligent. The patch is very intelligent. So you're going to wear the patch 12 hours on and 12 hours off, and allow your body to rejuvenate. And the reason you're going to take it off, you're going to get 30 patches inside this beautiful packaging here, 30. So you put it on and take it off, and the next day you just put another one on. And then you just want to make sure that you're hydrated. It's very important because there's energy that's going to be flowing through your body. And then you're going to also possibly start detoxing and getting those bad, things out of your body. And so it's very important to be hydrated, you guys. Now, this is my favorite part of this presentation because this is the time when we get to hear, you already heard Fred's testimony, but we get to hear from some other people. But what I'm going to do tonight is just for convenience. I happen to have some people that I know personally that I want you to hear from, and so that you can see what actually happened to them. So let me see. I hope this works. This is live, so I hope this works. This is a gentleman that has an issue. Let him tell.
Of what led to this progress that I'm experiencing right now from this tiny little patch. And I'll get right to it. Again, my name is Jeffrey Payton, and I hail out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. Over a decade ago, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I had an A1C of 12.1. I was walking around in a diabetic coma, spiking at 300 and above. The doctors prescribed high doses of insulin to me, whereby I was taking 5 insulin shots per day, 4 of them on a sliding scale, and 2 at bedtime so that I wouldn't spike in my sleep and die. Fast forward 10 years to 4 years ago, where I experienced a complete left side paralysis stroke. And being a hairdresser and a entrepreneur, you need your body, and I was actually working myself into bad health, which led to that stroke. Now, I was hospitalized, put on life support, and I was given high doses of very strong heart medication. Now, my injection fracture at the time went from a normal that morning that I was headed to the hospital. To the time I got to the hospital, my infraction rate was only 15%. BPM, they call it, the beats per minute, heartbeats per minute. So with that being said, I was in a pretty bad situation. The doctors declared that I needed a pacemaker and a defibrillator before they would release me from the hospital. I stayed in the hospital for a little under a month. I had the procedure done, but my question to the doctor was, how much better would I get? The doctor said, well, listen, Mr. Payton, we can get you to 45%. And I said, okay, fine, that's good, because I wanted to get back to my work and protecting my family and just producing income, but it didn't happen. So 2 years passed and I plateaued at that 45%. In the meantime, the doctors had me on very frequent visits for an EKG every 6 weeks. Now, when I would go back for these EKGs, it was always the same results. 45%, Mr. Payton, continue to take your meds. We'll see you in 6 weeks. Now, the medicines I'm taking are carvedilol, furosemide, spironolactone, and Entresto. These are high dose, high quality medications. So fast forward to November of 2022, where my friend Reggie Stewart patched me, introduced me to the patch. And the first thing I noticed after 1 hour of wearing that patch that week was that my glucose numbers went down. You see, on a low, I'm at 70. On a high, 250 is the max. So I fell right in between at 170. In the meantime, earlier that day, I've done it like 300, so I was still struggling. But I didn't give any credence to this patch. When I noticed that, it was just, I thought I was having a pretty good moment. 3 days go by and I'm following Reggie's instructions by putting the patch on, wearing it for 12 hours, throwing it away after that, drinking plenty of water and starting anew on the next day. Now, I did that for 3 days in succession. And on that third day, by the way, it was Thanksgiving week. And I pigged out, you know what I mean? I ate some of everything. And as you know, food and diabetes are not friends. And I was expecting to have a high sugar spike. I checked my glucose numbers after I ate, and actually I had not checked my glucose before I ate, nor did I take my meds. But when I did, suddenly I realized that, you know, this was a a bad thing that I had just forgotten to do. And my glucose numbers read 122. Now, 122 is normal for a normal person without diabetes after eating a big meal like that. So that was the first thing that happened. The second thing that happened was that it was time for me to go back to my cardiologist 6 weeks following, and I wore the patch every single day. But at that point, I purchased patches. Let me go back. I purchased patches. I've been wearing the patch from that day to this day, and I can't see changing my lifestyle from this patch. In the meantime, after visiting my cardiologist, I went to him for the EKG. This was the first time he came in with the results himself. And I've got documentation beats conversation every day of the week. He comes in with the paperwork and he said, Mr. Payton, I got great news for you. I said, well, what is it? He said, Mr. Payton, your heart rate has improved from 45% function to 60% function. I said, well, that's great, but what does it mean? He said, now, Mr. Payton, your heart is functioning 100% on its own without the pacemaker or the defibrillator. Now, I've still got those implants in me, right? But at that point, he said, I'm going to have to cut your meds in half because these medications are too strong for your heart right now. So that's what he did. And he said, I'm not going to see you in 6 weeks. I'll see you in a year. 1 year passed. 4 months ago. I went to visit my doctor again at that point, had another EKG. He said, Mr. Payton, this is amazing. He said, what are you doing? And I explained what I was doing. I showed him this patch and I gave him this is it info. He sat in the examining room and pulled it up on his computer. And he said, you don't stop doing this. He said, I'm gonna incorporate this in your medical list. So right along with my medications, that long list of medications, at the bottom, he incorporated X39 stem cell reactivation patch. Now that was powerful in itself, but it was time for me to visit my general cardiologist just 3 weeks ago. Was it 3 or 2? 2 weeks ago. And I go back to him for this EKG. And you'll never guess, this is my progress report right here. My infraction or heart rate has improved from 60% function to currently 89% function. Now, that's phenomenal. And I owe it all to this patch. And I'm thankful for Reggie Stewart for sharing it with me. And I'm also thankful for Tina and Alfonso Fair for having a get together for me to be introduced to this patch. Now, that being said, this thing works. Follow the case study in regards to the patch reversing the heart in age by 8 years after only wearing it for 6 months. I'm a testimony, folks, and I'm not a paid actor. So blessings to you all. Verdita, thank you for letting me share. And I'm so excited for those of you who are going to get started on this patch tonight.
Wow, thank you so much, Jeffrey, you guys. And what I appreciate about Jeffrey's testimony is that he captured so many things, not only what the patch had done for him, but also how his doctor responded to it and how his doctor incorporated it into his regimen. That tells you right there what doctors are thinking about this patch. So the next person I want to ask to come on is Mr. Eric Burns. I see you as a co-host, Eric. So can you unmute yourself and share your video? Thank you so much.
I sure can. Thank you for having me. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you and see
Okay,
you.
great. Great. Well, I just want to come on and share my testimony with you guys because it's been life-changing for me in a short amount of time. I have high blood pressure to the point where I was on high blood pressure medicine and they could 7 different pills and they could not bring my high blood pressure down at all. And I used to go to the hospital all the time. One year I went it was 67 times I went to the hospital. And on some days I went more than once because my blood pressure was just, they could not control it. I would walk into the hospital sometime, my blood pressure was ridiculous. It was 280 over 240 or 243, 220. It was just, they called me the walking dead. When I go into the hospital, they already know what they need to do to try to get me, get my blood pressure under control. Make a long story short, I was introduced to this patch and I decided to, start wearing it because I'm into, natural, a natural way of living. And I started wearing a patch and I noticed 30 days into me wearing the patch, I start to notice my blood pressure had started dropping. And when my blood pressure started dropping, I was, concerned. I was like, wow, my blood pressure is dropping. Now it's dropping too low. So I had 2 choices. I can either stop taking my blood pressure pills, which I've been taking them, my blood pressure hasn't ever dropped low, or I can stop wearing this wearable. Well, to me, the wearable was the new thing that I was doing. So I continued to wear the wearable. I stopped taking my blood pressure medicine. I also told my doctor what I was doing. And it's been 17 days since I took any blood pressure medicine. You guys got to understand, I've been walking around here all of these years scared to leave the house because you got to understand the blood pressure is a silent killer. It's a silent killer. And so can you imagine I'm leaving the house wanting to make sure that I stay on a path that people will recognize me, or I'd be scared to go to sleep because I'm not sure I'm gonna wake up. That's what high blood pressure had me in that cell. And now because it's X39 patch, I'm telling you, my sleep is better. Why? Because I'm not worrying about me waking up. You know, I can leave the house now and not worry about where I'm going. It's just been a game changer for me. I'm gonna continue to wear X39. I believe in lifestyle changes for life, and now X39 will be in my life forever because it's really changed my life. I hope that anyone out there with high blood pressure, please put that wearable on and watch it change your life. You have to keep wearing it and watch it change your life. Thank you.
All right, so hopefully by now, I mean, that's just a couple of testimonies. I mean, I had another one, but I don't want to hold you too long. We started a little bit late, but now you understand why we're so passionate about this. I mean, how can you literally listen to what was going on in those two gentlemen's lives without feeling some kind of way that, you know, this is something that everybody needs to know about? And that's how my husband and I felt about it. That's how Fred feels about it, because he also, you know, saw what happened to him, and he knew that this is something he needed to do. I told you I was going to share, I want to share this real quick. You're looking at a picture of a little girl by the name of Bella. Bella is autistic, and what happened was that morning, the morning that she normally, all Bella ever did was walked around in circles. I walked around in circles all day long. And this particular day, her mother was given 3 of these patches from a lady by the name of Gwen. I know Gwen very well. She gave it, her mother put the patch on her daughter that morning, on Bella that morning. And when she went to school, for the first time, she sat down. And the teacher couldn't believe it. The teacher took a picture and sent this picture to her mother, said she was sitting down for the first time. Not only that, she went to the potty. Normally she won't, you know, somebody has to take her to the potty and make her go. She went by her, she did this by herself. This was the very first day this lady, so I know 2 other incidents just this week alone where the child was autistic. They weren't talking, all kinds of things. I know someone that is no longer autistic after about a year of wearing these patches. This little boy was already getting stem cell injections every month. His parents were flying him from Atlanta to Arizona to get stem cell injections, costing $5,000 per injection. So you see how this can really help even in that area. So many other things, you guys. I told you about the skin conditions. This gentleman has a condition that is not curable called vitiligo. But after a year of wearing this patch, he became a whole new person. His whole disposition changed after 1 year on X39. This lady, look at the collagen increasing in her body, or the wrinkles around her mouth and her neck. All of this is gone away. She looks like an entirely different person, but she'd been wearing the patch for about 3 years. Now, all of this is many more testimonies that are available on this website called thisisitinfo.com. Please write that down. This is it. Info.com. When you go to that site, you can click on a tab that lets you see all kinds of testimonies. Also, you're going to hear all kinds of doctors' reviews. The patent is there, the case studies, everything. This is where we send physicians because it's so, you know, so much, you know, important information, technical information. And this is why many doctors are excited about this as well. Now, we spent quite a bit of time, you know, explaining to you how to get your health back in case you are dealing with any type of health issues, but how to be free. You know, even if there's nothing going on, you know, health-wise. Remember what I told you about me and my husband, but I'm telling you, it gets better and better. We're feeling so energized, and we're, you know, our mental clarity. You just feel like a whole different person. We spend a lot of time talking about how to free yourself with regard to your health. Now we're going to shift gears and talk about a financial opportunity to help you with your finances, because what's going to happen more than likely once you get off this call, you're going to start thinking of people that you know that really need to know about this patch. And you know, I want to show you how the company is going to compensate you for doing that. So this is a global opportunity. I told you we're in over 75 countries. And but we are the fastest growing home-based business in the world, according to businessforhome.org. We're the momentum rank right here, #1. And this is not a surprise because of what this patch is doing. And so we are very excited to be able to get, sorry about that, to get the Bravo Award by the Direct Sales Organization. We just have so many great things that are going on for this company that we're getting all kinds of accolades. Now, I want you to know what I'm about to share with you is not guaranteed. It's just something that based on your efforts, based on your skill set, there's an opportunity here, and it's available for anyone. This is optional. This is not required. But if you help other people and help them free themselves of those issues, the company's going to compensate you. It's just an incentive. So there's a couple of ways that you can earn, several ways you can earn money. The first way you can earn money is if somebody says, you know what, I just want to be a customer. The thing about a customer, a retail customer, is they're going to pay $149 for every one of these they order. Normally people get one per month. So they're going to spend about $150 per month. But the company's going to pay you $50 every month when they purchase that. They're going to be on like an auto ship and they're going to get it every month. But if a preferred customer gets one, that means they're getting a discount, but you're going to get paid $20 per month. But also you're going to get these points. And I'm going to tell you about these points in a little bit because that's huge, those points. Secondly, if you decide to be a brand partner like myself and Fred, you're going to get one of these packages. One is called a core. You're going to, if someone purchases a core package, you're going to make $35. If someone purchases the advanced package, you're going to make $75. If someone purchases the premium package, you're going to earn $405. I'm going to explain those packages in a little bit, but that's the second way we get paid. Third way we get paid is called binary commissions. Now you remember those points that I just pointed out. Every time somebody purchases one of these packages that I just told you about, those points that are associated with them fall into a structure called a binary. It simply means this. Let's say if this is you and you went and told one of your friends and they decide they want to get that premium pack. The company is going, the system is going to reflect them and their purchase. These are business centers that are falling up under you. So you just got a business partner and they purchase one of these packages and it's going to fall on your left side. You get to choose which side you want to fall on. And then somebody else gets one of those advanced packages and they fall on your right side. But then these people start telling other people, and it just starts spreading. I mean, like this person right here came in, but she may have been the one that told this person or this person. And every single person from that point on that you bring to the table, they're going to fall at the bottom of this at the bottom of this line right here, or the bottom of here. So all these people who you've enrolled, or maybe one or two of them, they get to benefit from the efforts of all the people below them. Let's say this lady right here go out and sign up 50 people. This person right here, as well as you're going to benefit from all the volume, those points that are generated. So I know you may not understand everything I'm saying right now, but trust me, it gets to be very, very lucrative. And every time these points add up to $660 on one side and $330 on the other, the company generates you a $50 binary commission. Remember, I told you those points mean something, just like when you use Delta Airline or one of those credit cards, American Express or something, you get points for an airline towards an airline ticket. You see what I'm saying? So not expecting you to understand everything I'm telling you, but you get to earn up to $25,000 per week just in this structure alone. And see, remember I talked about how fast our company is growing. It's growing so fast, number one, because of product, but also the company is paying us so well. My husband and I are both six-figure earners with our careers. And when we heard about this, it wasn't about the money for us, but fortunately enough, because the company is so generous and our desire was so huge to help people, we've reached the top position in the company, which is senior presidential director. These are weekly commissions that we're talking about, you guys. So this is very significant. Now, the first thing we want to make sure you do is become a manager, meaning you've enrolled two people on your left to get one of those packages. and 2 people on your right. And when that happens, you become a manager. Why is that so significant? Because it opens up the door to our 4th way of pay, which is our matching bonuses. You think the binary commissions was lucrative? Wait till you understand how the matching bonuses work. Say, for example, if you got started and you introduce me, and I go out and say this week I earned $1,000 in the binary, the company will match you by what I earn by 25%. In other words, if I've earned $1,000, the company gives you $250. That's over and above what you earn by enrolling me. That's over and above what is generated in the binary. This is another way of pay. They don't take the $250 from me. They give that to you on top of what I earned. And then after that, the people that I bring on board, they're in your 2nd level. You're going to earn 20% of what they earn. And the people on your 3rd level, you're going to earn 20% of what they earn. So there's a lot of matching bonuses, and these numbers 1, 2, 3, that's not reflective of how many people. There could be 1,000 people, well, more like 50 people or something like that on your 1st level. These are the people you enroll. There may be 500 people in your 2nd, maybe 1,000 or even more. My team has grown to over 7,000 since we got started, but we don't know all those people. It just starts spreading. And this is what could happen to you if you decided you want to partner with us, and we'll show you how to do it. It just depends on how big your vision is. This is just a diagram of what could happen in the matching bonuses. Let's say that you did enroll 4 people and they each earned these different amounts, 5,000, 3,000, 6,000, 3,000 in the binary this week, and you're going to match them by 25%, which is $4,250. The people in the dark area, they generated over $23,500 in binary commissions this week. You're getting 20% of that. Same thing with the 3rd level. Your matching bonuses this week alone would be $16,550 in this scenario. It's not going to happen overnight, but it is happening. Trust me. I know plenty of people making this kind of money. Now, to get more information about the compensation plan, is you want to go to this website called thisisitteam.com. We're part of the fastest growing team within the company. Okay, so our leaders, Steve and Gina Merritt, they put a system together that we all follow. It's very, very simple. Basically, what you're doing right now, you're on a call. What we encourage you to do is, if you decide you want to do this and you want to share this with your friends and family to know about this technology, so they don't have to continue to walk around with high blood pressure or pacemaker or whatever, the situation is. You put a call like this together, invite them to the call. When those people join, we do the presentation for you to get you going, but we have a system in place. We also have business tools like these cards that kind of, when you put some patches in this card and you mail them off to somebody, it tells you where to get the information from. This is an info. It tells you the benefits, and that's what you do. So we got some business tools, but I want you to pay attention to this because I told you I was going to elaborate on the packages. Now, this form right here is just something that, if you had this form, you would put your name and the information that we would capture to get you into the system, like your date of birth, and your credit card information, because your credit card is what's going to be required to purchase some. So here's what we have here. If you said, well, listen, not only do I want to wear these patches, my spouse does too. You may not be so sure about whether you want to do what we do and spread the word, but more than likely you will, because you're going to be so compelled to do that. The first package is called the Core. It's $295, and these patches are average about $99 each. You're going to get 3 of them in this Core pack, but this will get you into the binary, so that if you do decide to start sharing it with people, now people already started falling under you. And do you know, whether you know these people or not, all that volume rolls up to you, whether you've enrolled anybody or not. So when you decide to start doing something, you got a head start. The second package, which is called the Advanced package, is $535, but you're going to get $600 worth of product. You're going to get 6 of these sleeves. And when that happens, when you get this package, this puts you in a position to get promoted to the manager position, because you have to be an advanced package to get there. But if you're not able to do the advanced package right now, come in where you fit in, get the core and get started, and then you can pay the difference and upgrade to the advanced when it's time. The last package we have is called a premium. This is the package that my husband and I decided to get. And the reason why, because we knew so many people that needed the patch, and we decided, let's get this big package so that we can share this with some friends. But this package also is $1,750. You're getting $2,000 worth of inventory, and now you're saving $250. But the additional reason that you may want to consider this package, like people that are doctors, people that are chiropractors, I have those kinds of people on my team, and they're selling them to their patients as they walk in the door. So those kinds of people love this package because they're saving money. But the other reason you may want to get this package is because in order to stay active and qualify to receive any of those commissions, you must be purchasing at least one of these 30-day supplies per month. That's going to cost you $99. It's going to keep you active and going to keep those points. It's going to allow you to earn up to $100 per week. But the bigger picture is if you get 2 sleeves per month, which makes sense if you're married, you and your spouse need to wear it. That's going to cost you about $199 a month. Not only do you keep your points, but you get to max out the comp plan. You get to earn all the way up to $25,000 a week just in the binary. But also, you don't have to do this subscription every month. You're qualified for 90 days after you purchase this package. We can explain it a little bit more for you, but we just want you to know what's available. Okay. Now, we also have incentive trips. My husband and I are still trying to qualify for this trip. It's in April, but this is Punta Mita, an exclusive trip that is near Puerto Vallarta, where the Punta Mita, they say, is where the celebrities like to hang out. It's a very luxurious area. And our company offers all kinds of incentive trips, Bora Bora, Bali, all kinds of places. We went to Greece in August, and then we went to Punta Cana in November. You get to qualify for these trips, and that's a big desire that we had. This page right here is just letting you know that we have calls every single night. I'm doing a call at 10 o'clock Eastern tonight to accommodate the people on the West Coast, but that call is not a private call. That's a bigger call where more people can get on, and you're more than welcome. It's a whole different Zoom code than what this is, but if you want to get on it tonight, let me see, Friday. No, this is the West Coast. This is not the right one. Well, this is not the, I don't want to even talk about this because this is the wrong number. I'll give it to Fred if you're interested in getting on the West Coast call, because you might have a relative out there. You say, oh, you can't believe what I just heard. You need to jump on this call. But this call is recorded, so you can get a hold of it if you want to revisit it again. So listen, you guys, if you're serious about your dreams, we know that this is hope for your future, not only with your health, but also your finances. I want to encourage you, please get back to Fred. Let him know tonight if you're interested in getting one of the packages, or and if you want to, and definitely if you just want to purchase some of the patches, you know, he can go over that with you. But let him know tonight if you're interested. That way, you know, he can get back to you and won't feel like he's bothering you. Okay, just let him know. Please text him and say, hey, Fred, I'm interested. Please call me. I want one of those packages, something like that. Okay. So with that being the case, you guys, we want to thank you so much for your time. We want to let you know that we want to welcome you to our team in case you decide you want to partner with us. And our founder has a big vision to reach 1 billion families across the world. That's why he needs us to help him. So thank you all so much for your time. You all have a blessed evening.